Good morning. Tell us about this survey. We love this idea.
Yeah, this survey is really interesting. And Jim, it talked about all of the things that you've said. They've been giving grants from the Pets in the Classroom program, and it's run by an organization called Pet Care Trust. And so, what they've done is that they've provided money for guinea pigs, hamsters, geckos, fish. Maybe even dogs if they can get them into the classroom. And what it has shown is exactly what you've said: improved attendance by kids, reduced anxiety levels, fosters empathy and compassion, develops social skills, boosts self esteem. My kids have attended schools where they've had these sorts of animals, reptiles, and so on. And you could see the joy on their faces by having the responsibility of caring for these animals and different sorts of pets. So this is something that we're going to see more and more in our classrooms.
This is adorable. That video that we were just showing where the dog wants to hold hands with one of the students, and the student is trying to do work. You see there with his pencil, but he has to like turn and hold the dog's hand. It is so cute. But Dr. Gardere, I get why it's a mood boost, okay? And I get why it's
Oh,
fun to have this adorable dog in the classroom. But how does it improve their self-esteem? I mean, how does it have this whole other ripple effect on emotional effects on the students?
Well, more than anything else, Allison, it reduces the anxiety that kids have. Anxiety, as we know, is a major, major issue for all of us as adults and children and so on. And it gets in the way of learning, it gets in the way of developing social skills. So, by reducing that anxiety, what we tend to see is that the unconditional love that these animals and pets give us helps us to develop non judgmental feelings, and that stable presence reduces that loneliness that children tend to have. But just feeling good overall by being able to be part of the lives of these pets, taking care of living things, really does help the children, because it's not just about academic learning in schools, it's also about social emotional learning, and it helps with all of those things.
Doctor, you're talking about emotional learning. It's really moving to see that young child and that dog interacting with each other and basically holding hands. How can caring for a pet help students build empathy and compassion and social skills?
Well, what we tend to see is that they're just not thinking about themselves. Now the focus goes out to other beings, as I said, other living things, rather. And by doing that, it really does show them that they have a responsibility outside of themselves, getting outside of their own bodies, outside of their own minds, and knowing that society is something that is very important. And then that transfers a mark on to other children, and having the compassion and empathy that they had for the pets now is transferred onto other students and their friends, of course.
I was just laughing at that hamster on a wheel. Sometimes we feel like that, right? but um, having a pet in class, you would think maybe, depending on the pet, it might be a distraction for young students. But there are reports that it actually helps improve grades for some students.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we tend to see is that the teachers that were part of this particular study reported fewer discipline issues and better grades for some of their students. And a lot of that comes from, as I said, not only reducing stress, but teaching that responsibility and fostering a more positive and engaging learning environment, which is the most important thing. Students actually, Jim, look forward to going to class and interacting with these living things. And when you bring those dogs in, we are seeing in medical schools, law schools, and so on, that emotional support animals are now accompanying students. And not only does it help that particular student in dealing with anxiety or some other mental health challenge, but the students around that particular student who has the animal are also getting the benefit. So this is the gift that keeps on giving.
Dr. Jeff, we
Yeah.
appreciate it. I want to meet that pup with the paw.
I know. That is just a shockingly cute video where the little boy is like, I'm supposed to be coloring, but now I'm holding this dog's paw. Okay. And it was so cute. That dog is really a cutie pie.
Oh, so sweet.
He's smiling also, I'd like to
He
point
does
out.
look like he's smiling.
Absolutely.
So where's Tula? Cue Tula, the
Yeah,
Camerata pet.
Tula. I know. Tula is basically told me she's unavailable until a few more hours.
She's unavailable for photography.
Yeah. No treats,
She's
no
sleeping in.
TV.
She's
Right.
sleeping in right now.
She's like a teenager. All right, we're